Yeah, everybody says that, so what could you do in the top? Grading sound.
But you usually get that one like next days, yeah.
Excuse me. Okay.
Second. Okay.
Yeah.
He got a typo.
More. Yeah. Honest. Doing okay?
Worried about you. Just.
Hey, good to hear. We're gonna go to the special meeting, budget workshop, the city council to order, July 30th, 2024. I'll remind everybody, including myself, to silence your cell phones. And, this thing is gonna lead us to open prayer.
Heavenly Father, we come to you right now with our ears and humble hearts, Lord, to tell you thank you. Thank you, Lord, for your leaders, your guidance, your shielding, and your protection. Lord, I ask you right now to decrease each and every one of us up here on this podium, and you increasing us, Lord, to make the right decisions for this city. In these blessings, we ask in your name. Amen.
Amen.
Pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Your roll call, please.
Councilmember O'Brien.
Here.
Councilmember Hampton. Here. Councilmember Woodball.
Here.
Councilmember Landry. Here. Mayor Catherine.
Here. All right, general business. Agenda item 3A. Council to continue discussions regarding city of Perry's budget for fiscal year 2024, 2025. To take any action deemed necessary. Who would like to start? I think we have some changes, didn't we?
Yeah, a couple. I added in grant revenue and expenditures. And then also ARPA reserves are now at 1.47 million. We spent some money.
Yeah, the computers started to come in, aren't they?
They're in, we're just waiting for them to be installed.
There's some up there, old ones. They're on. These are all new.
budget or the,
Do anyone else like to speak on the budget or?
you got the proposed rate changes, you want to go through that?
You want to do the rate changes first?
That is,
Right.
well, I guess
It all comes.
it all kind of rolls together anyway. All right, just for the record, we're gonna go ahead and discuss agenda item 3A, which is the discussion on the budget. We're also gonna discuss agenda item 3B, which is on the proposed utility rate changes, and take any action deemed necessary. And agenda item 3C, council to discuss water and wastewater license incentive and take any action deemed necessary. Since they all kind of go together and intertwine with each other, let's go ahead and do them all at one. If that's okay with everyone. Okay.
So I just said, about the new items in the budget and then the old items, this is just that little square part that was on the original budget summaries the last few times that I just put it on here. So we still have factored in the 3% pay increase, the 5% increase for workers' compensation, 5% increase for liability insurance, and the 7.9% increase for health.
One thing I want to ask about is, about percentage why there the past 2 or 3 years has liability and property insurance gone up,
It's
Yeah.
fluctuated,
fluctuated upwards.
always upwards a little bit. We've had 1 or 2 years in the last 4 or something that has stayed relatively the same. And then we've had others where they have wild swings. So it's very unpredictable.
Do we have any? Does anybody have any future outlook on what it's gonna look like this next year with the storm damage?
They're not giving any telegraphing on. And a lot of these things are done on an every 2-year cycle. That they'll quote you out for roughly 2 years worth,
All right.
and then they kind of see where things lag. Once they get all the costs in, and then they adjust.
As like some budgets I've been working on with the county, the insurance has been just snowballing at a rapid rate. That's what they meant, it's what they meant to ask the question.
But no, they haven't got telegraphed any.
Okay.
For sure.
Well, then when you budget now and then sometime next June it comes due and it's like, whoa, what happened? You know, and I didn't quite budget enough. I just didn't know if they had any idea where it might fall, where it might lie.
But at least this is through our fiscal year, so
Yeah.
we're good for another 12.
Yeah, 5%.
Yeah.
5%.
For liability and property. Okay. I'm just like the past 2 years, I've had to do budget transfers because of, and they've just gone up that much. Didn't have,
Remember the beginning of this year, I had to do some budget amendments because those things adjusted. The workers' comp is one that always comes in after your new fiscal year is already in progress. The budget's well set, and then they do an analysis of your previous year, and then it's kind of like, uh-oh.
well, insurance used to be within, a few percent. So it wasn't that significant, but I've noticed a pretty good jump in it.
And a few years ago, it was
Yeah.
quite a jump to the medical. So it kind of comes and goes.
Things are just fluctuating so wildly now. Just prices of anything. I always like to joke at the airport, we had a little, I don't know what the little building was, some kind of little tin building out by one of the fuel pumps. And the price of the gas was painted on that building. That's how little it changed. It was always consistent. But this has been a long time ago. But yeah. $1.85 for aviation gas, that tells you how long ago it was. Now you see 50 cents a gallon jumps, in a month's time. Or down. Sure, absolutely.
Um. I wish that you all would come back with some other options for us. I just do not want to raise or increase utilities at all. We have been hammering these people for God knows how long. I'm getting complaints, y'all charging us, here's your charging staff. So you're riding around in the new cars, you're doing this, you're doing that. When are you gonna do something else? And I think it's a fair question. I think in 2022, she maybe raised the rates 25% as well. I just would like for you to come back with some different figures and let's help out the people of this city, please.
Certainly, may I speak to that?
Yes, sir, please.
I'm looking
You
at,
know you can.
but
You know you can.
I will not NOT agree to any water increases. Now, your justification is because we gotta do this, we gotta do this, but here's what we do, we spend it. We don't, with this increase that we're talking about in prior years, we're gonna set aside for something, but we don't do it, we spend it. So I will not support personally any water increase or sewer increase or gas increase. We need to cut expenses somewhere, not increase, just continue to increase revenue. And what should happen with solid waste is raise that to maybe $60 and reduce water by $60 or wherever else you're getting it from. But I can go along with a solid waste increase, but not beach.
And the price has gone up at Osceola.
Transfer that. to-
Correct, but they've not gone up.
Go back, pick up stuff 3 times a month. Might pick mine up. Maybe over someone. Every time you use your water bill, the solid rate is higher and higher and higher. And they're not getting any relief. But they're not getting a service either. But I know that it needs to. We need to do something, but just not this.
Yes, ma'am. Would you mind just going to the podium and just state your name and address for the record? Thank you, ma'am.
Teresa Dunkel, 315 West Florida Street, Perry 32347.
Down there.
My question is, in the paper, they talked about people that were suffering with the water street, other locations. We have an aide that comes to the house to tend to my husband. Physical therapist that comes, and both of them that live within the city say that sometimes the water smells, and they don't live on Water Street, they live in different locations. My question is, I know that we're getting new filters. Is it possible that any infrastructure that the pipes
that are delivering the water have gotten old and need to be replaced. But even with that question, we're paying a lot for water that is substandard. And I know they said in the paper that, we can, get alternative, we can get bottled water. It's difficult to pay for water that is not drinkable and then go out and buy water. And, these are difficult times. I understand that for the budget. I mean, we've lost two big taxpayers. And I think the city needs to, and I'm talking about the citizens, we all need to pull in our belts and cooperate together. And even with waste, as you were saying, a lot of people throw away a lot more things than we do. If it went to once a week, some people that need more trash pickup have maybe an extra trash can. But my main concern is the water. This is something for our health that we all need. And we want people to come to our city. But how do we invite them to come and have non-drinkable water?
I'm sorry, let me interrupt real quick. Nowhere in that public notice does it say the water is not drinkable. The water is absolutely safe to drink. That public notice is addressing the long-running annual average on the DEP problem that we've been under consent order with DEP on for years now. The new filter project is in line to address this issue. We don't know how well it's going to make a difference on it yet because it's just started running. But the water is absolutely safe to drink. I'd like to say that again.
Well, it's just that
Right.
long-term, this and that.
Yes.
But my question is with the pipes that deliver the water,
There are a lot of pipes in the city that need to be replaced, yes. But the issue with the infrastructure, as many of you know, is the cost of doing so, which is where we've been looking into these grants more and more. And the RIF grant, which is the one we have been approved for that we just signed on at the last meeting for the engineering to take place. That is to replace the 12-inch water main leaving the wells going to the water tower. That is an asbestos concrete main, an AC pipe. That is one of the old pieces of infrastructure we're trying to replace. That is a start. Not gonna say
So
it's
that-
done, but that's a start.
Yeah, so then, I guess your answer would be if we do have some older pipes, we are trying to get them updated. It's just gonna take time and money. All it boils down to, we're just about to, we're working on grants to do that with.
One thing that happens. One thing that happens is they'll set a standard and it'll be here. You'll meet that standard. Then it goes to here. You try to meet that standard. And eventually, sometimes they set a standard that you can't meet. But it's a moving target,
When you say they, you're referring to the state,
state and federal, DEP and.
something we have no control over.
No, we got no control over it.
Right. But I agree with you and Shirley and Ms. Dunkel that we ought not to raise water rates at this time. Because I had a call today and their water was so bad, they couldn't drink it, they couldn't bathe in it, they couldn't, use it. And I referred them to City Hall and told them, to get in touch, that maybe there was something y'all could do.
If we don't get notified, if
Yeah.
they don't call and let us know about an issue, anywhere it may be, we can't address it and make sure that it is indeed an issue of the water coming into the residence and not an issue that's in the house
And
itself.
I told her that, I told her it's worse in some areas than in others, and if you've got a problem, I've been talking to people all day, because I'm making phone calls. But, and that's what I tell them, if you've got a problem, call City Hall and tell them. However, if, I don't know where the calls are going to. If they're never getting to the water department, then they may not get
They
addressed.
may not even be coming into City Hall. We never know. I don't see them until I see the paper with
Yeah,
the complaint.
I know, so I'm just mentioning that in the office, they need to
I'm the one that takes those phone calls when I'm in the office. If I'm not there, they leave a voicemail or either Amy that's there. Sometimes they do tell when they're paying their bills. They
Yeah,
may let the girls know up front. They write up a work order and lay it on my desk.
okay,
So that does get done. Now,
Okay.
I don't know who you're referring to. I mean, I've had one call today about water, but it wasn't, she didn't say anything that you just told me.
right. But I guess I'm feeling, people are complaining about having to pay for water they can't use and then have to go buy, drinking water. Even though you say it's okay to drink, but in some places it's not. It's just so bad that they can't get it past their nose, so to
If they
speak.
can't notify us, then how are we gonna respond?
Right.
And that's what I'm telling them. However, I really don't think we need to raise the rates while we have that issue. Once we get it, and I know we're trying to get it cleaned up, we're trying to replace the pipes, we're trying to, flush it out, trying to get the filter online. And once we get all that done, and we've done all we can do, then I think we have a reason to raise the rates if we still need to. But I just can't go along with raising them now with all the problems that we've got. And every time we send out that letter, people just go berserk.
Well,
And it's-
financially, I mean, it's a pretty strong letter.
It is,
Mhm.
it is very
Mhm.
strong.
And it's been like that for a long time.
Yeah, it has. It's been like that for a long time, and they bring that up, that we've had a long time. Well, that's true, we have, but the fact is that now we are addressing it. Now we are trying to do something about it. But, I don't think we should raise the water rates until we get it straightened out.
Miss Landry, if I may, when my constituents call me, I just call Danielle and tell her about it. Because they feel like, well, my constituents, they feel like I'm telling you because I know you will report it for me.
Right.
And a lot of times we have to take on that
Yeah.
in order to get it done.
And sometimes I do. I've got another one that I will contact Danielle about, but, I suggested that she call her and she said, I'll call them today. So it's probably the one I talked to. But
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. I'd like to update Bill on something. If you go to the water tab, and it's for the water revenues. So if you want to see the totals there, for the, column E, I guess, it's the actuals. Today, got it? Okay. All right, what's the comments that G?
I want to follow you.
All right. Well, go down to the totals.
It'll say water at the top.
Okay, right here.
Left-hand side.
So total water revenue, where are we sitting at for our current through June? All right, so we've collected 2.6 million and our output in that department's 800,000 when I looked at it.
That's because you've got that grant without revenue to it.
No, that's, that
I'm
would be,
looking at 3.2 million.
I'll roll down, see if we got the grant.
Y'all,
Yeah.
y'all aren't looking at the right, the water revenue at the top says current year budget was 2.3, and so far we've collected 1.8.
Uh-huh.
Okay, and how much have we expended of that?
Well, you'd have to
We gotta
Good.
scroll down.
use your fingers or get the calculator going.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we are, what my
It's
point,
a million fifty without grants included.
what my point is that we are saving and hopefully towards the end of the year, that surplus revenue in water will roll up to the savings account. So we are trying and attempting to do that. But I do agree with you that right now with the issues we're having, the timing is really poor.
It is.
However, just to put it in perspective, these numbers even came from that rural water presentation that y'all have had a couple of times. Because every time, and 25% is a hell of a raise. I mean, that's a lot of money. But every year you don't do their goal, you fall further behind. To fix those pipelines, those big massive infrastructures that are pumping the water to the houses, So it's kind of a catch-22. You can't win. And grants only fund so much because even with a lot of these grants, they're grant loans. And every time you're doing some of these, you've got a $450,000 loan that's going to be paid off over the next 30 years. So you keep getting these mortgage payments.
The reason you can't catch up is because you're starting out so far behind.
Yeah.
Yes.
Exactly.
I remember when they charged $10 for water and sewer.
Well, and I'm sure people want to see those numbers again, but we are still paying bills
And
the same
and
real
with
world
good
they're
water.
paying. So that's what I'm saying is, if we are to fix these things and build up money in the savings account, which we are saving money towards the infrastructure in water and trying in wastewater, but that's another one that's why government does it, because private industry doesn't want to do wastewater. It's not profitable.
Right.
That was one reason why I didn't want to do the grant too, or not the grant, the graph too, because, you know, you see it, the smallest meter, the dollar, that $33 is those bigger meters that's like corporation.
Plus utility tax.
And if you remember, she
Yeah.
flipped, she told us to flip them, and that's what we voted on. So the actual smaller residential meters got the cheaper rates. So that kind of went down last year. And the bulk of it's being paid by the bigger users, which is the way it should be, ideally to make them conservative, conserve use.
For some reason, they were already at 1733. They're not,
They're at 65 right now,
plus a 10% utility tax.
plus the.
That's what made it 1733. Okay.
Yeah.
But again, the perception of the timing right now,
Oh, yeah.
Not good.
but just realize that this, you're kicking the can down the road. And the can's gonna get bigger and heavier as it goes. I'm just saying.
I'm just gonna guess.
Yes, ma'am.
We're fortunate where we live, we had no problems at all with water. And we're thankful for that. However, you know, we're a community and we bind together. Is it possible that with the issues that are involved, raising water would be difficult under the circumstances? But is there a way that we could put on the bill a certain amount to increase the pipes that need to be done? Just so people know that there's an issue and we're working on the issue, but issues cost money. And this way we would work together. I don't know, just.
You could make a special revenue fund and that would be attached directly to it and accounted for as such.
Kind of like the gas tax toward paving.
And that would be
Good
kind of
idea.
a reserved.
Yeah.
You know, you have your reserved funds and then your non-reserved.
That way,
Unrestricted cash, restricted cash,
well, in that case, it couldn't get spent.
except for that one thing.
Right.
One pipe we are doing is $5 million. You have to save every penny of water revenue for 2 years.
If you're financing the whole thing.
I'm saying, that's the kind of money we need to fix the problem. Is $100 million.
Well, even our portion of the grant, whatever we say. You've got some earmarked money for those matches.
What was 108?
I'm just guessing $100 million to replace all the pipes,
Oh,
system that need to be replaced.
yeah.
They can be,
Did you write a grant?
I thought Matt McDonald was helping us with that.
They're doing that on the sewer collection system.
Okay.
So what do you think about pipes?
Yes, you got a lead abatement grant and you got another one, but the thing is, those are in small increments in getting things replaced in the water system. And we still have matches, it's a loan grant. So it's partials. So we might have got 5 million and I don't know off the top of my head what our match is to that. That one's 0, but there's gonna be more with matches to it. And so you just don't get these rain down of grant monies. But they're done in increments and they're only doing I mean, it's $5 million for just one stretch of pipe. One. And they probably need to be replaced from the water plant all the way to your door.
Okay, we talked about sleeving. What do you call it? Sleeving the sewer pipes. And the same thing be done with the water.
It would not be as effective on the water side. You could still have breaks that would still have to be repaired the same way, so it's not as feasible on the water. Plus, you'd still be down every time they have to sleeve a section. The boil water notices that go with that and everything else. It's just not as feasible on water as it is in wastewater.
I'm guessing because of the pressure.
You're also gonna be restricting the size of the pipe on the inside anytime you add a sleeve into it. So yeah, you're gonna see a pressure drop and a volume drop. And right now, we already have pressure issues on the south side of town. It is, if you restrict any of the larger pipes, especially the big pipe down that goes down here, that would really cause a problem.
Yeah, they won't have any water pressure.
Dragon absent. So the filter online it.
Yes, ma'am. As of last week, Tuesday, they were finishing the chlorination system. They had a few hiccups with that system. And Wednesday morning, it was up and running nonstop. It has been since.
So it's been up for approximately a week. Do you know? Sorry, go ahead.
Seen any difference?
1 week isn't gonna make a major difference yet. We're still running some on well 3. We have to. It's still one of our larger producing wells. But the reduction in flow on it should make a big difference on its iron levels.
Thank
But
you.
we should be good.
Thank you.
We'll really know on our next DVP sampling that we pull, which we usually do around the 12th of August. So 2 weeks.
Okay.
And then I won't have the results on those samples right away either. Those take a couple of weeks.
It was, what, Andrew, what's the cycle burn on getting like from the new filters out to the whole system and 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, any idea or?
It's a matter of how long it takes for the water to reach that section of town. So
Right.
some of the runs in downtown, actually probably where you live, it's probably got it already. It had it within the first day. But most of the system probably doesn't see that water until 5 or 6 days later. By now, the majority of the system, depending on the flow in the area, should be getting water from those new filters specifically. But all 3 wells do pump to the same system. It's not like one well feeds one part of town and one well
Yeah.
feeds the other. They
It's like
all
a-
pump to the same system.
Yeah, it's like a grid. If you will, it really needs to be that way, because if you got one well goes down or whatever, you still got,
Redundancy,
yes.
yes.
So why is there such a fluctuation in the intensity of the contaminants in the water if they're all pumped to go through the same thing?
A lot of these issues you're noticing in these areas are because of the piping in those areas as well.
Okay,
A lot of these areas tend to be 1950s, 1960s. The pipes are older.
Yeah.
And we just don't have the ability to go and change these on our own. I don't have a large enough crew or department to be able to go and change water mains and take care of work orders, and take care of leaks, take care of everything else. It's just not possible.
okay.
That's another reason we need the phone calls, so we kind of figure out where the issues are.
Get an idea on the map of what's going on. Yeah.
Send the pig through it.
Well, this one today was near my neighborhood on the other side of Ash Street, and I'm on the north side of Ash Street. And my water's fine, except for excess chlorine once in a while. But hers was smelled awful and looked awful and
Now, a lot of the smells, the thing is your hot water heater, we get those calls, I mean, it happens at City Hall. Because the hot water is not used enough and then it starts smelling, you have to flush out I mean, anybody, your hot water, like mine in my house, in the county, it'll start smelling, you have to flush it out.
Anytime you heat water, you're gonna make those contaminants come out more. And if you heat chlorinated water, it breaks down the chlorine quicker. And if it sits for any period of time, you're gonna notice a smell, an odor,
Yeah.
color. It all
Sulfur
depends.
smell.
So it's basically just flushing the line out.
Yeah,
Flush the hot water.
Figure out,
Yeah.
Just run it until it runs cold or warm or whatever and
When it
let it
comes to your
roll.
hot water, run the water heater, flush it once a year, flush it every 6 months. It would not hurt.
You talking about from the drain or just the,
Drain on the drain.
from the drain itself?
But if you can't from the drain, what I tell people is to run it till it's cold.
Yeah.
Because like here, we can't drain it, I just run it till it's cold. and it
Gotcha.
starts smelling it.
Ultimately, the best thing you can do is to run it till you run all the water out of it
Yeah.
effectively.
Okay.
If you can drain it and break things loose inside of the hot water heater itself, you'll see a big, big difference.
You're right, heat anything up, you're gonna smell it more.
How much
The way it
water
is.
do you think that would be to do what you just said?
So flush through a hot water heater. It depends on the size of the unit. If you have a 20-gallon tank, it shouldn't take all that much, a little more than 20 gallons, or maybe even 60 gallons. But if you have a 100-gallon tank, the best way to flush one of them is going to be to drain it all the way and then probably rinse it 2 to 3 times. So you'll run up a little bill when you do it, yes. There is no way around running water through them. But there's no other way to do it effectively.
But it doesn't use that much water.
It's 100 gallons
Yeah,
maybe.
because.
Yeah, if you have a big unit, yes, you're gonna pay that fee for that. It's
Well,
gonna happen. But if you
Well,
have a
we bill
small-
1,000 gallons, so. If they run their bill up, looking at $3 maybe,
Yeah,
for
this-
1,000 gallons, less than $3.
And $3 might be too much for someone.
Well, we're not asking everyone to do this every single month.
But I mean,
This
that's
is
just
once-
maintenance of your,
Once a year.
that's maintenance of your appliance, I mean.
Yeah, and it's a choice.
If we know that they have to run this water. And it's running to get your water to drink and use.
It doesn't matter if you had city water or well water on this issue. If you don't drain your hot water heater unit, you're going to have smell and odor.
What is speaking of city?
That's why I'm saying it doesn't matter if you had that or not. You're still gonna have to maintain your water heater. Whether you're a city customer or a residential on your own out in the county.
It's really like just like changing your oil on your vehicle.
Mhm.
You have to maintain your appliances in your house, like cleaning your oven your safety. It's the same concept. You have to drain your water heater, otherwise you're gonna get dirty water or it's eventually gonna clog up.
Eventually, your water won't be as hot because you just corroded the heating coils too much if you don't drain them.
It's true. I will
I'm glad I
offer,
don't have those problems.
I will offer a motion that we retain sewer rates, gas, and water with no increase this year.
Sure.
Yes, sure.
Councilmember Bryant?
Yes.
Councilmember Manson?
Yes.
Councilmember Woodhull?
Yes.
Councilmember Landry?
Yes.
Mayor Patrick?
Yes.
So that leaves solid waste.
Solid waste. If you don't raise the solid waste, that means that water or gas or somebody else is gonna cover it.
Yeah.
And you can't raise it enough to,
Right.
To cover everything.
yeah. So,
So you're talking about $2 per month per customer. That $60,000 mark, is that?
$1.
whatever they wanna do, you're gonna have to.
They were talking on
Solid
just
waste.
garbage,
Uh-huh.
garbage collection.
$1 per year. It's and even 18.
The current rate, I think, is 21.
I think 37 for once a week. We charge 21 for twice a week.
All right, say it again.
I pay 37 for once a week pickup. We only charge it 21 now for twice a week.
Are you talking about the beach?
So if you went into private hands, rate probably double
Mm-hmm.
and go to once a week.
Mm-hmm.
So what you're saying is they're getting a bargain,
I know that.
even with the increase.
Oh, yeah, because the main reason is somebody else is paying that bill.
Yeah, I seen it advertised in the paper with $30-something, yeah, for county pickup.
If you transfer from utility tax or water to cover that loss, the water customers, but probably even gas too, they're paying part of the solid waste bill.
Yeah, bill.
Yeah.
You're
They're
also
saying
making up for the general fund, which earns really nothing. So.
Yeah.
It would be nice to see that become solid.
Impossible.
Solid waste? Well, if you did it $2.
Let me read you why. I'll read it to you. $400,000 garbage truck is not in there. Nor is a $10,000 garbage truck. the equipment cost is not included in this. This is just the cash in and cash out.
Correct, that's for operating personnel.
Yeah.
Oh,
So, well, I know you are. So, no matter what you do, you're gonna transfer from somebody to pay the difference in that bill.
It's definitely gotta come from somewhere.
It does.
That's a fact.
That's-
You're welcome.
Even if you're at $1, you're still gonna lose money in there. You just can't figure that close enough.
Well, even if you go with $1.50, you're still gonna lose.
Well, yeah, I think the whole right now is 36,000, I'm guessing, but it would at least make you solvent this year. If you get it $2 per customer, that would go towards a garbage truck, like a piece of a garbage truck, renting a garbage truck. And we've been buying the cheap garbage trucks, they don't seem to last, so next time we do buy, we're looking at buying something that's, you know.
I
Did
agree with that. Did you get it for the 40 that you got?
Yeah, that's what we're talking about, changing companies.
And you get it for the 40 that you got?
A
400,
garbage truck,
That's what you got.
400.
they're more like 400.
400, I'm sorry.
But
40.
we're asking for.
We'll take a dozen.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Turn around and flip them.
Give me one.
Turn around and flip them and fix the water lines.
If you do $2 now, then you might not have to raise it next year and still be solvent. And you have a little something towards the next investment.
Which would be another truck,
Well, towards,
another truck.
yeah, it'd be 10% of it maybe.
Make a payment on it anyway.
Yeah, exactly.
A lobby is like on get $3 good.
So John, what do you suggest?
$2 per customer.
Motion.
There you go.
Your second?
Ms. Landry.
Councilmember Bryant,
Yes.
Councilmember Hampton,
Yes.
Councilmember Woodfall,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Landry,
Yes.
Mayor Ketchum.
Yes. We're holding the water, holding sewer and going up $2 on garbage. Just to summarize it.
You gotta do something. If not, we gonna fall back.
Unfortunately, we don't have the federal government's credit card.
Thank you.
Which we did.
Ms. Penny, we hadn't even started getting any FEMA money, have we?
Not a all. They have
Speaking of
started, just a little sidebar, FEMA. You remember all the turnkey projects that were through insurance, like this building, that they were a real big mess. And they came in and did everything for it. So we didn't have to bid everything out and all the insurance did. And the Boys and Girls Club was like that, because it had a couple of those steel rafters that were actually twisted and tore up some of the roof. So now the FEMA people are kicking it back. And all this was done under FMIT, which is the Florida Municipal Insurance Trust, through the League of Cities. It's been around for decades. They're going, can you show us their papers that allow them to exist as a trust? What is their financial bylaws? All kinds of stuff that I have no idea.
No.
And you figure they've been doing hurricanes with them since Katrina and Ian and all of them. And, well, not Katrina, but Andrew or whatever. And, it's like, so anyway, we've got it buffered now where they're working with the state of Florida FEMA. It's like, guys, you've been interfacing with us for 30 years. So it's just a stall tactic. And so, but at least the other requests are getting fewer and far between. So at our end, we're starting to provide enough minutia information for them.
Okay.
So,
I just, if I may for just a second, I checked with somebody about, garbage pickup, household, the cans. And the private company's charging $28 a month for what we're doing.
And that's once a week?
That's twice a week.
Twice a week?
And
Not-
they
not-
also
19.
cover their trash pickup too.
Mhm.
Yeah, 19,
It doesn't
One,
cover,
28 for two.
FRS, does it?
no,
They're talking trash pickup,
I am too.
the FRS specific.
When you're comparing,
Okay.
what they do versus what we do, what happens is you generally don't put all of what we do in there.
Mhm.
We have
a lot of benefits.
attempted to bid this out, I believe, to Waste Management, and they refused to give us a price because they couldn't do it for what we were doing it for.
Or they guarantee it for 3 years and they'll
Yeah.
take your employees, but after those 3 years, hold on your head.
Going for a
Because
ride.
they've got to make a profit.
Mhm.
Well, I was just saying, private companies, they get a bit higher than we are for the exact same service.
It's not the exact same.
Well, twice a week.
It's not the exact same.
You're right, take up the garbage twice a week, they
I'm
charge.
talking about, they don't offer the benefits we offer.
No, I understand that. I'm talking about
That's,
just the service.
Well, and the trash pickup, that trash pickup is picked up in your.
Right, and that's not including trash pickup. That's just to dump the,
Yeah, not the garbage, but
cans.
the claw.
right. I'm just saying, that's just to use the one-arm bandit to pick up the can.
maybe not the wow.
Somebody have to count it? That 28, no, somebody, that's like, I'll be put it on.
Yeah.
No, it was a company that said for a congested city area, that's what they charge. Cause out in the county used to spread out and there's no. You don't have to use it, do you? That's probably why they're having to charge more, cause
Take them and the landfill.
Yeah, we have that, they include in this budget, for that.
The capital outlay is not in those,
Yeah.
they are. Yeah, that's
So
what they want.
it's on the front page. And then it's on the second and the third page, and then to the budget, there's a line that says capital outlay. If it's 0, then it's, they didn't have it.
What was it last year, you know,
You got the capital outlay?
total budget, on the budget?
I think it started at 2 million. That was after we weeded out a bit.
And a lot of our capital outlay is grant. On that front page.
Mhm.
It's only 1.9 that's not for the grant.
Not done cutting it either.
Yeah. That's why there's still some of those oranges in there that's navies.
Okay.
I guess green means go and yellow means.
Grant says yellow, green is yes, orange is maybe.
And she got rid of the reds because they were definite. Or definite, no.
John, what are we doing like with the Glenn, Lynn probably could answer it more. Our canines, when we, let the canine officer leave with the dog, are we selling that dog or what are we doing with it?
But the dogs that just left were sold.
Okay, are we putting it back in the budget or y'all keeping it in you guys' budget? Okay.
It put into PDs. They have a few bank accounts
Mm-hmm,
for, because they got a lot of those dogs to begin with grants.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
So it just goes back in a little fund there.
okay.
Who's gonna discuss this fire personnel issue?
For sure, your chief.
You see?
I'm asking for the lieutenant's position, because right now, if we don't have a captain on duty, we don't have anybody in charge. Everybody looks at the lead firefighter to be in charge, but he's not, the lead fireman is not being compensated and have to take on that responsibility. You know, taking on responsibility on making these emergency calls, life threatening, not life threatening, whatever. That's a big thing to carry. We're not being compensated for something. And, the main thing is having somebody in charge when a captain is off on vacation, sick leave, K-Day, whatever. I run a little bit of the numbers. It's gonna cost about $12,000 for 3 lieutenant positions a year. If we have a captain covering for a captain on overtime, just for the K-Days, you're looking at $16,146 a year. And then on your, if it's a captain cover for captains on vacation, that's $21,216. So you're looking at a total of about $37,362 a year for a captain to cover a captain. That's not even including the sick leave if anybody's out sick. So, one of my main concerns is having somebody in charge on the scenes when the captain is not there. Gives us another step in the chain of command. Give somebody something to look forward to. Right now, I was here for 18 years before I ever got to be a captain, and 23 years before I ever got to my chief's position. A lot of people's not going to stay around in a department where they know they're not going to have a chance to promote in a, reasonable time. Most everybody that's promoted has been about 18 years in before they got 17, 2015, 18 years before they ever promote to a captain. So, basically, that's my main concern, is having somebody in charge that can make these difficult calls when the captain's out, and, being able to be compensated to make these calls.
What are you calling someone in to?
No, am I calling somebody in to, what the, basically, we'll probably have to do like an interview process.
No, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about, you got captain and 3 firefighters.
Right.
The captain's out. Do you call a captain in?
Yeah, he's replacing captains with captains.
Well, if to have somebody in charge, right
Mhm.
now, we're replacing the captains or whoever's off with the part-timers or the, float guy. That's how we replace them right now. So right now, when a captain's off, we don't have anybody basically in charge of the calls.
It's just your senior.
It's just the senior man on
fire.
ship just looked at it to make the calls.
So this time you don't have any lieutenants?
No.
Not asking for another position or any more people. I'm just asking for.
To create the lieutenant position and compensate for it.
What does this side of the table say?
We can do it.
I like the ability to give an employee something to look forward to.
Exactly.
25 years,
Mhm.
captain never got there, and here to slip as a firefighter making all, besides that longevity we did last year, you have been making the exact same thing.
And that's why your turnaround is so bad, because you don't have you have the young ones that get out of school, they come here, they don't have anything to look forward to. So they get their little training here, then they go off to a bigger city. So you gotta start giving them something to want to
Motion to
stay.
approve.
Second.
Councilmember Bryant,
Yes.
Councilmember Woodball,
Yes.
Councilmember Hampton.
Yes, but let me say this.
I'm not here to inform.
I was going, I was going to ask for a raise for council, since it's been 10 years But I'm saying this to you.
Thank
Can you find 12,000 plus as well?
Who else wants a raise?
I do. I'll make a joke of it.
I'm not.
I said yes.
Vice Mayor Landry,
Yes.
Mayor Patrick.
Yes.
John, I didn't get my copy of this. Item 3C, have you got any?
For the, then utility rate changes.
The water and wastewater license incentive.
Yeah, he was gonna send this, or I asked. Be sent out.
Trying to save some money. Hey, let's look find more money.
Gee. You look at this capital outlay, hey, you look at this capital outlay money, there's a money tree back here somewhere.
Mhm.
Get us all an iPad and just email it to it.
You might find it. Yeah, you need this board.
I tell you where it is.
Oh, goodness.
Let's finish this first. Like to get another person in the water department as a utility mechanic.
I personally do not agree, and the reason is, that's not a reason to hire somebody, period. I don't care where it is. That's just like the two little kids, one of them fussing because the other one's got more ice cream.
Yeah, it's more about.
That's what that says.
More about being able to get work done in the field and the safety aspects. Somebody said they're on vacation. But yeah, working on the water department.
If I may, real quick, that's, what was it, 2 years ago, I believe, that both the street, or not street, but the wastewater and gas departments received an extra man. The water was on the same list that year, but we were the ones that were cut from that list. So when they got their extra man, then we did not.
Yeah, I mean,
So this, I'm not trying to put anybody else down about that, that's not the point.
no,
The point is, we do not have a full crew the same way. I have 2 meter readers that both count as a mechanic by pay grade,
right,
but I only have them for half of the time of the month.
right,
So I have 1 crew leader, 1 mechanic,
right.
and then 2 for half of the time.
Thank you.
And myself and my operator, and my operator has to do with the plant. He can't be a mechanic and an operator, just like I can't be a superintendent and the operator. Now, when my operator's down, I work as an operator in his place. When he is able to do so, I take off the same. But we work in tandem like that. But my crew leader, if he's off for any reason, which he has his medical reasons if he needs to leave occasionally. Last year in November, he had surgery. He was out for a whole month. We were working on a short crew for a whole month. And we have to rely on the gas department's help to make sure we can get our work orders done during the day. That's just what I'm seeing.
One of my objectives is to try to educate the people. What you just said is what that should say, not because they got 3, I want.
Mm-hmm. So you said the wording?
Yeah,
Yeah, the way he explained it, that's, yeah.
go up there and say, that crew's got 3, I want 3.
John, can we afford this?
Water department, yeah.
So it's coming out of their budget?
Yeah,
As far as I
Okay.
can tell, the water department brings the revenue as it is.
It
but-
does, it does. I'm trying to help you.
They get hit a lot lately. Try to go each out.
motion to approve,
Second,
Councilmember Wyatt,
yes.
Councilmember, Woodfall.
Yes.
Councilmember Hampton, Vice Mayor Landry, Mayor Patrick.
If it'll help make the water better, yes.
there you go.
If you guess what's here, it's because of the FTEs.
I know, I'm sitting here.
So while we're doing all of this, and we're overlooking.
I didn't know
People
all this was
understand.
going to be brought up, and it really
Ben,
we saying
can you write
yes
us a
to them.
proposal also and let us know what you need, you and Danielle, please?
about 5 personnel.
Do I'm asking, do they want to work? Do y'all got employees that's knocking and saying, hey, I want the
I
job?
have a guy calling every single day.
Okay, well, if you bring it to me, you know I'm for it. I'm all for it. I'm agreeing with things that are being brought to us, you know what I'm saying? So y'all get together and bring it back.
Because of hard times, but I've learned a lesson. I won't do good anymore.
You better do good.
I'm talking about bringing in extra employees.
Oh, okay. Well, you need the help, let us know, Danielle.
Y'all don't know, that's the thing.
So let us know, just write it up, get it to us.
Is the motion?
Well, can the budget sustain it?
See, there's,
Street don't make a living.
what do you need, Danielle? But y'all want the streets, what do you?
What you need, baby? Do you and John need to get together?
I mean, we don't have, y'all don't understand, we have a
We can't do
garbage,
everything on the list.
we have a garbage and a trash.
We have one thing
department.
you can speak for.
That's why I say if y'all write it up, bring it to us. John, can you get with them and y'all write it up and Daniel, I got you.
Did you need one extra or two extra? What did you all need?
The other, you know, what I'm talking about, the other day, somebody told me I got one more stop to make. What do they do after they do that one more stop?
Who does that? Talking about the garbage?
Yes.
They take the garbage to landfill, but
Right.
it takes a little while there. They come back, then they have to clean those trucks. You
And
have
it
to-
takes, what time do they start?
They start about that 6:37.
Mm-hmm.
By the time they get back,
By
sometimes.
nine, they picked up everything.
No.
No, that's one stop.
They might get back.
On Fridays and Thursdays,
Yeah.
you won't finish by 9.
No,
I'm telling you.
Then you.
if they told you
people are
that,
lying
then
about it.
yeah,
Yes,
exactly.
they lying about it.
What time is it?
Man, what you say, they telling
Hey,
it.
if you put 3 trucks out there, everything you got out there, you won't finish by 9.
I saw the truck
No,
this morning going that way.
When
The
the
only
truck gets
thing
full,
going
you
that
gotta
way
haul.
in Greenville,
What truck you seen, the one that with the real load?
garbage,
The real load or something?
garbage truck, I don't know which
If
one.
you see the real load going that way, possible,
Yeah,
but the
cause yesterday, our other truck went down.
all the maintenance truck, no. Probably see one of the that way, Bill.
I encourage y'all to come sit down there, I mean.
Anyway.
I probably got.
Ain't nothing-
I watch it.
Crews.
Yeah,
I know you need help.
I know how y'all do for at least a day.
Hey, y'all, come on now. Hey, Ben, hold on now. We got 4 or 5 people talking at once. So we're trying, and Brandon's trying to get minutes out of all this. So if y'all would just,
If once our city clean. Give them some.
I know we're in hard times, you know, we wanna be in hard times. So, you know,
Hard times
but
are
with
yet,
all this,
are yet to come.
but, yeah, exactly, yes. So I understand that, and I don't want later people have to be laid off, I don't want somebody to lose their job.
I
Well,
got
there's
you.
always attrition, Danielle. People-
I don't think it'll come to that, but we'll knock down. I know they wouldn't like it, but we'll slash before we do that. I'm pretty sure everybody will be in agreement with that. Exactly. Mm-hmm.
But we need to be able to show the city, our customers and the people that live here, that we're working on, it, that we're getting the job done, that we're making a difference.
My guys, the
And
other
if
day,
it takes
on
another,
one road, it took them all day to clean the right of way.
Mm-hmm.
Do they all?
I know when they come to my neighborhood, they be over there all day.
But we can only do that one day a week.
Exactly.
We're having to do that.
So John, you and Danielle just get together, and bring back things.
Do they all have to have CDLs?
We have 2 that do not have CDLs.
do they need
We
CDLs?
need CDL drivers, but we have enough CDL drivers. We can have people without CDL license to do street work. No, they don't have to.
If you got an A,
All of them just about have it.
Yeah, we got
Well,
2 A's.
a lot, 2 or
We
3.
got 2 A's.
2. That's what they're getting now is A's. And the one guy that just started, he starts school in August.
So y'all need about 2 people.
That's all they do, street work.
You say street
I'm
work.
not gonna push the limit because I know that, you know,
Mm-hmm.
down the road, we might not be able to afford those 2 people.
or however many, but.
What do you say, Jerry?
All right, do y'all wanna move on to the,
And come back.
Yeah.
wastewater license incentive?
Starting out of Spotswood Department was, I have had two operators before the weekend, crew leader, mechanics, equipment operator. We wanna go to operator one, operator two system. So you have two operators report to the head operator. They would always have his B license. Hopefully. A Couple things I would like some kind of incentive for any one of these guys. If they were to go ahead and get their C license before they became operator, then they would get a bunch of pay. Now, this is just, I'll put numbers out there, y'all change them, say no. And I'd also like an incentive, once this operator one has a C, incentive to get his B, to go ahead and get it before he becomes operator two. So they always have a funnel of licensed operators.
Sean's not here to speak on it right now.
Mhm.
We had an incident where what we just dealt with was one of our individuals passed
Yes.
away in an accident. I know nobody plans for that. That's just part of life, but we were down a man immediately and down an operator in the city. So doing what he's suggesting, being able to maybe not pay them full rate by any means, but compensate them for having gotten that license, taking the time to do the work. Getting a B license requires a lot of time and a lot of work. A C license too, but a B is even worse. Now, water doesn't require a B license as it is on our side, but I know what kind of work it takes to get it.
You gotta put the hours in, there's no way around it.
In the water side, you have to have 3 years of experience working the plant to be able to apply for it. So that 2,080 for a year, triple it. It's a lot of time.
You have a C now?
I have a C now. And that's all that the drinking water here in Perry requires. We're not a B licensed plant.
The superintendent's your C.
Yes.
You want your operator to be the C.
Now, he is working on it. He's done his book work. We're working on getting him a review for his exam. Rural Water's trying to come up with a review closer so we can get that done.
But we'd be in compliance if we went with this.
On the wastewater side, yes, it would work. This is wastewater right now. Sean's not able to talk about it. That's why I'm just-
Okay.
Basically, y'all trying to get everybody licensed you can, get licensed.
And if need be, if
That way you
a man
have
left,
that.
if a man got a better opportunity in another town, or just life happened and they decided they needed to move, we have an individual who's able to go ahead and move into his place without having to hunt for somebody to stay in compliance with the state.
It's really no different what we're doing with the police department, is it?
Not really.
Not really.
You said this is wastewater.
Yes, this is the wastewater.
Wastewater doesn't need a B.
Wastewater needs to be, drinking water does not. That's both sides.
Then why is this,
This operator two.
or is this for both of them?
This is just wastewater. This right here, your operator two will be required to have to be.
But if wastewater requires a B, why don't you have B up there?
The superintendent, you got a C.
He's working to get a C. The superintendent doesn't technically need a license at all.
Really?
You just need one B operator and that's it.
For the wastewater plant to work, yes. And having your lead operator or your operator two be that position would cover that.
Is he trying to get us?
He's working for this C. But he doesn't, he's doing that just because to be a backup in case something happens.
And the city does pay for their education, but for the
Yeah.
incentive,
Yeah.
they get something for putting all that time in.
And it's not just about that too, the time it takes to be able to go for a B license. Another operator has to be the one to sign off on that and say that they've gotten the hours required. They have to prove those hours required before they can take the exam.
Absolutely do.
So it's not just because we want to pay them, they've done the book work, they have to have the time before they're even eligible.
Is your operator two, he got a B already? No,
We don't have an operator two.
Currently, we don't.
I understand.
We don't have anybody with me.
And wastewater.
We have one city licensed.
Currently.
But
But
y'all
we need,
looking for
but we
someone.
need somebody with a B.
Well,
Yeah.
who's the next plant you get's gonna have to have a B operator.
No, we have to have one now, but I think they're working with us because they, you know.
Because of what's
with all
going
that
on,
thing
yeah.
they
Yeah.
are working with us.
But that time is gonna come to an end.
So do we have someone in mind or? Anybody want to, or?
I'm sure they're still looking.
We have operator working towards the seat, it's probably,
Yeah.
but that would be years before you get the chance.
Yeah.
Go for a beat. We haven't advertised.
So you're advertising for a B? Oh, okay.
So
gotcha.
you're a, Sean, is he, so we don't have any B, any C operators right now? We have anybody, we have a C, but I mean, do we have any, well, what I meant is we have anybody qualified to go from C to D right now?
I don't think the guy with the seat wants to get a beat.
No, and he's in the drop program, so.
So he won't be here. Oh, yeah, so we gotta get on the ball.
You got to have, what, 8,000 hours? Am I wrong on that? Or they move it down some?
No, I think that's about right. Yeah, if it's not it, it's pretty darn close.
Used to be 4 years, generally speaking.
I don't.
They
know
even
if
qualify-
the
they even-
wastewater side of the difference. I know on
Yeah.
water it's 3 years for a B, so I think the wastewater is either 3 or 4 years.
I want to say, last I knew it was 4. I mean, you had to put the time in, you had to verify the time.
Mhm.
Put
It's
in.
more if you had the C and B together, I think it's 2,000 for the C and then 6,000.
Yes, 2,080 for a C, so yeah, 3 times that. So 6,240.
Yeah, you can get a doctorate degree in wastewater, but until you put that 4 years in, you can't get the license.
No. And on top of that, the other issue that they're running into is advertising for a B licensed operator at our current pay rate we pay. There are other communities out there. We had an individual come and interview for that position, but he wanted more than we were able to pay him.
What's current right now? The 26?
He came in,
It's right around that.
Well, I'm saying if he come in as a B.
we don't have a rate for that because your lab tech was the one holding your B before, and he didn't get paid the least. He was 22.48, your operators were 27 and almost 25. I think we offered him,
I should say, what was the offer?
we offered 27.
Mhm.
And,
That's a lot of schooling.
and didn't take it.
Mm-mm.
Somewhere around here.
I believe, if I'm not mistaken, he's either working for Monticello or working for Live Oak, but he's making over 32.
I'm gonna ask y'all, what would we pay a B operator if we found one? So how to train someone up?
I was just gonna ask you, what
27.
was your knock, what, so you suggesting the 30-24?
That's the national average. When you ask, AI, what they would look at.
We're definitely not
Artificial
at the top of
answer.
that rate system.
Hey,
We are competitive as we can be as a small system, but there are other systems out there obviously paying more. They're not big systems either.
Mhm.
Monticello, Live Oak, they're not huge systems. They're the same size as us pretty much.
Greenfield, but
Greenville needs people, period. I don't even know what they're paying at the moment, but I know that they're needing operators as well. And that's just a competitive, right down the road system right now.
What about Mayo?
I don't know about
You don't know
that.
about Mayo?
Would you pay a B operator more than the superintendent?
By the time
Superintendent ain't
overtime
got,
figured in, they probably would make more, but that's just another thing. To be honest, when I was an operator, I made close to what I'm making as a superintendent now.
Just hours put in.
John, why isn't a superintendent required to have something? Is the way the way it is in the
if we can make it
description?
work here, you just need one to run the plant. Nobody could be the one, right?
It could be any of them. If it doesn't-
I'm just on the outside looking in, but I think I would be very mad that if I was over a crew and somebody on my crew making more money than what I'm making. So that's why it's the question. So,
It makes more sense on that.
Basically, all right.
yeah, he does because of the what degrees you have? Do you have to, yeah. So I can understand his pay.
Technically, it's a degree, technically.
Mm.
It's a college course.
Mm.
And you have to maintain CEUs to keep your license.
Mm-hmm,
And depending on the license you hold, it depends on how many CEUs you're required to have.
mm-hmm.
As a C, you need 1 full CEU every year, but that's not drastic. But at a B, you need 2. classes and courses, there are ways for us to go like rural water, they offer courses that we can send them to, we pay their membership fees, so we don't pay a full rate to go to these classes. But you've got to maintain it once you get it as well. That's not very bad at all. It's getting it in the first place and having the time, it's really the problem.
And keep it,
But it's continuing ed.
like what
That's
our
part of our
city
training.
fire and PD has to do.
And you can't do those on the computer, you actually have to go.
You can do them on the computer. You
You
can take
can?
your continued education courses on.
Mm-hmm.
I thought you had to do some hands-on though. to prove it.
Sometimes, but not all of them. A lot of the online courses that offer it, there's a test at the end of these courses to make sure that you.
Know what you're
understood it
doing.
and
Yeah,
did it.
yeah.
But yeah, you can do those online. They're not free though.
No.
I know we got computer-based with a lot of stuff, but I think there are still some things you have to hands-on show you can do, shooting range, clinicals, whatever.
Only one way to learn a water plant, that's to be there doing it.
Mm-hmm.
Get wet.
John, I'm all for it, cause it's something that we need.
What the pay would be with the, I mean, when he's gotta be,
What the pay would be if we hired one that wanted to work right now.
right, 30.
Do we have anyone of sanitation? that may want-
Our part,
Hey, that is not-
No, they're not. I said, that's what I'm asking in my department. Well, first of all, you have to work in the water department. And then you have to work so many, oh, I know, I have great hands.
Mm-hmm.
And they have to, they would have to move to the water department, and then they have to have so many hours before they can even. I don't really know any of them.
Plus, that's also, I know y'all hate hearing me say this, Rob and Peter to pay Paul. If we steal one department and put a man up, don't get me wrong, I'd rather move in-house if it makes it quicker if we can get a man. But they still have to have the hours of the plant, and they have to want to do it. Now, I'm not saying they don't, but I don't know if we've asked that question.
Yes, I mean, there's some of them probably good, but they just, it's something they would want.
Mm-hmm.
I know Taylor Corrections one time, they,
Let them know about it.
yeah, Taylor Corrections, they were running a program one time where, I mean, they got a waste treatment facility and they were producing bee operators.
Ex-con
If we want
operators,
to
yeah.
promote from
Yeah.
within.
They do, we always advertise all jobs within, and they sign up, and then if no one signs up, they advertise outside.
Okay.
But currently, none of this has been advertised because none of this. has really been- It has been advertised, but nobody moved on it when we did.
First question, what would we say for the operators?
Right, go ahead.
First.
30?
Yeah, national average is more than 30. And that's only, what, $2 more than what we're paying now?
The one that just started is 24 and 4, it'd be $6 more than a brand new operator.
Right,
This would be an extra.
he's gotta be, he's earned it.
I
Second
agree.
question, what would you pay any of these guys that are mechanics or crew leaders if they went ahead and got their seat?
Only what's the going rate?
You know, what's the going rate? What's the national average on that?
They're making, mechanics are making, what, 1831, 1847? Your C guys making 27.
You're talking about a mechanic, you mean like? Guess I'm not understanding.
The guys that work in the field.
Yeah, okay.
Like when lines and stuff go down? Oh, okay.
So you wanna offer at least like $24 or something.
Mm-hmm.
With the license.
I was thinking it's a $2 bonus for what they're making now.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, they'll have longevity and the other stuff catching up.
That's what the city helps them get their license.
Yes.
Yeah.
They just have to do the work.
Right.
2 would be fine.
Somebody that already has their C license, what would you offer them to go ahead and get their B? Had 3, but I was thinking $2 to $3 somewhere in there.
Mm-hmm. Take them two, let's do two all the way across the board.
And the thing is, if, when it comes to actually hiring the person, if you can't get it, you can always come back and.
Mhm.
My wife told me it was time to stand up.
Go get the moving.
I brought this one back up too. Your mechanic one, be here for 15 years to stay mechanic one just because nobody has got out of these two positions. I would like it where mechanic one becomes a mechanic two after 1 year of service, completing all their training and recommended by their superintendent to be a mechanic two. We just brought them from the 1658 to the 1831.
With that, mechanic ones are doing the exact same work as the mechanic twos.
Mhm.
So a lot of times that I'll be out there with my only mechanic one and me and him be doing something because of, well, all the mechanic twos are going. We're out of work, so
Out
they're
of
doing the
work.
exact same thing.
Okay.
Water. Thing, what incentive would you give one of these mechanics or crew leaders to go ahead and get their C license while they're doing mechanic? That's probably the same $2. I don't think we're getting people with them. You don't need to be. I don't think you should be incentivized for
No.
getting unless it's something.
We're not required to have a B license on the water side by our population served. And honestly, even if Perry grew by 5,000 overnight, which it won't, we still wouldn't be in that threshold to require a B license yet.
Where is the B threshold?
For the drinking water side, we are still quite a ways away from it. I don't know the exact number on it, but our population served is based on our meter connections, which is 3,300, ballpark 3,300. So it's at 8,400 population is what they estimate that to be then. Or 89, sorry, 8,900. But I think the threshold for that is somewhere around 15,000. So we're still well below that. And it also bases it on the level of treatment required at whatever water plant you have. Our plants don't require that heavy of a treatment other than the filtration. So
Gotcha.
Population at one time was 9,900.
calm down.
Crime rate.
I actually want to say the previous DEP official that was over our water side, Dave Levinsky, quoted last time he visited before he changed hands that by the last census, we were 7,600, but we still go off of the 8,900 as our number.
I don't think we need it, but I've seen other places incentivize for, go ahead and get your wastewater license. You're in the water department, vice versa.
Cross training.
Cross training.
They refer to it as dual licensing.
Yeah.
I know everyone takes to hear Madison discussed, but if Madison did that, they would pay an operator, if you were a drinking water operator, you picked up your wastewater license, they would pay you for it. It wasn't a big bump, it wasn't a lot, but it was something. If need be, in a similar situation, if there was nobody in the wastewater department or nobody in the water department who was out or accidentally something happened, there was somebody in another department who was able to cover with their license at least.
I will say that for that, and I don't think anybody would be interested right now anyway.
Everyone we have currently is so focused on getting their prospective license in their prospective department, they're not worried about cross training at the moment.
I think the water department is gonna find wastewater after a year of service, getting all your training and being recommended by your superintendent. Your superintendent one would just automatically become a mechanic too.
And again, they're doing the same exact work as the rest of the group. And same with the meter readers. They did the same work as the people when they're not reading meters. They all work the same calls, the same leaks, the same installs. There's no difference to the level of work they're doing.
Being the meter readers, they go check in to get the grant for,
Yeah,
Apply to several for the
apply to multiple grants, yes.
AMR meters, drop out. Okay.
I've read in other newspapers where I think Jasper got a grant to do all theirs and somewhere else in the area. was Office Swanee River Water Management.
We submitted a grant to them, what, 4 months ago? 4 or 5 ago, yeah.
We should still need meter readers for the gas.
If we can get the right grant, they'll cover both, but most grants only cover the water side, so we would have to front the gas side up front on our own.
Which is more expensive. Gas is more expensive.
But it depends on the grant. Some grants will cover both without a problem.
Switching over to Amcor would be a lot cheaper, I guess.
Yeah.
Water.
Either way, it definitely make it, we could read meters in what, 2-3 days,
Yeah.
be done. Cause they're not quite remote reads, but close. You can just drive and catch them all as you drive down the street.
There's 2 varieties to AMR, but the most common and the less expensive version is a drive-by system, yeah.
Right.
And that can still
Short
be done. in 2
proximity.
days. But we have submitted for multiple grants for that.
Good deal. Yeah, discussion.
Do we need a motion or anything on this?
Do we need to come up with an answer to that?
Well, you voted on all the other changes, so she go ahead, and put it in the budget, we can see what it all looks like. So you wanna go ahead? Well, no one's gonna be getting these numbers this year anyway. Your county wants me.
Would you send that to me?
More discussion on it. Anybody care to make a motion?
What would motion?
For the $2,
Huh?
for your $2.
Center for water and wastewater,
You don't correct now.
for a non-operator getting their C license at $2, and wastewater for a C license to get a B license. $2.
Basically, just get a little bump and pay every,
Motion,
if you get it.
motion to go forward with it.
Have a second.
Do you wanna?
We don't do something, we're not gonna be able to keep people. You got
That's true.
I hate to do. They'll leave. You know.
Because I'll go get the money somewhere else.
What, Bill? By the time they get out this door and get to the rear end of your car, they'll be going, "Bop, bop, 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 bop." Look what they did for sewer. What about me? I'm a superintendent. I didn't get, you gotta know what a whole package is. What does the water do? Talking about sewers, all you're talking about, water. You don't know. Until you get.
What you're saying is they both need an incentive.
But,
They either both need an incentive or both don't, or.
well, not both. What are they?
I think they were talking about both water and sewer separately, but the graphs look pretty much the
Well,
same.
then there's 2 and there's how many more? 2 more, 3? It just spreads out. Just like that. Well, John, aren't you in charge of setting rates, hiring? We'll figure it out.
Well, payroll has to come up for you all.
Yeah.
Salary budgets. Brought to you with the budget.
The budget is, but not specifically what you do with the budget, correctly? Correct?
That what you do with it?
I said,
The total number.
I said the numbers is one thing, but what you actually specifically do with it is.
Yeah.
Payroll's pretty straightforward in the budget.
Yeah.
Right.
Bill stuff you kind of.
I mean, we don't micromanage that bad, do
Yeah,
we?
bottom line for the department.
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, it's save a little swish in here, it's fine.
right.
Just computer.
Lift you out. Didn't mean
I'm
to.
not going to,
Never heard, okay.
Well, no, it's streets.
Yeah, I will remind you.
That's why when you get into something like this, you hire somebody to do this for you. The North Florida Regional Planning Council did it last time.
Are you talking about like pay rate?
The whole
Salary
pay.
studies.
Layout.
Yeah.
How
Yeah.
much does that cost?
Didn't cost anything.
Just whatever with them.
Well, what happens
Members.
is along comes somebody who doesn't like it and they do their own thing. And here we sit.
So how about the council?
I totally agree, there's got to be a stop somewhere.
Yeah,
Because you start with this and then it's this and then it's this.
you opening the door.
You know,
And then
exactly.
you lay it on people.
And
Yeah.
So we're gonna ask council to do it?
that's why I was,
You don't need to sound, I mean, these are all reasonable stuff that's being discussed.
Be licensed. State requirement. I mean, you gotta have. that
You gotta
license to
have
run
it.
this plant.
Well, and I guess you gotta do what you need to do to get somebody in here.
and you're not gonna get one probably under $30, I think before you try. I mean, and that's just honesty.
Yeah, I agree with that,
And
yeah.
so, and none of the people there right now, other than the one, and he does not want to, they don't have the years to even to start with their B license.
Bring back a proposal.
With
Send me-
Danielle,
Send me a copy of it.
You send us all one?
Ben,
Yes.
Taking care of my guys.
I know.
I have one of the best departments there is. They're always at work.
Mhm. They don't complain, they don't complain. Mm-mm. Mm-mm.
We're up.
With us, they're. I've got one that's 73 years old. I'm gonna make this out there and I'll go out where everybody in here will not be.
We got one on our, work for Century. Century, he's 78. And he will outwork every single one of us.
You can tell he's.
Mhm.
But
Paramedic
still,
or EMT.
He EMT, but him with a mess out the way in a heartbeat.
he'll drive back to the garbage truck if he needs to. I mean, he's not even afraid to do that.
Mm-hmm.
I have a question, Lynn. And you all still have openings on the police force? Yeah, one or two? Have you all considered my, I don't guess it was a request, but sort of was a request that you hire someone, a minority?
Oh, every day.
Do you have someone?
We do not personally, no, not currently in the files.
You do not?
Nobody qualifies. The applications we have,
Oh,
we've had to turn several down.
I'm talking.
Yes, please.
Anyway, any more discussion on the budget meeting? If not,
Let me tell you this, gotta tell you a story. We were in the same situation. Water sewer operators. Got one guy from down the road down there. He was getting discharged. He had a water license and a sewer license. We were in heaven. I told him, I said, I gotta look at you a little more careful than I do other people. No problem, no problem. I'm not on probation or parole or whatever. He said, I've done all my time. So I don't even have to deal with that. Well, we were fixing to hire him. Walked over to the police department, looked up on the board there.
Uh-oh.
He left all his kidnapping and murder charges off his papers. He had the license.
Oh, goodness.
Mm-hmm.
嗯 Mhm. Mhm.
All right. Thank y'all for coming. Adjourn for a week.
Yes.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Every 2 weeks.
Yeah, they're gonna meet next week.
Why did you get an extra?
This one of those months, is it?
Well,
Yeah.
this week, yeah.
I'll be here next week. By myself. Just
Send you some
leave me the TV,
paperwork.
just leave me the TV remote. Turn this thing off.
How you keeping Stephanie straight?
I'm trying, cause you know she's gonna
I've talked to one guy, there's